Back in 2010, a couple of twins made a splash onto the scene in WWE. If you were to tell anyone that both men would be WrestleMania headliners and one a future Royal Rumble winner, it would have been impossible to imagine. Heck, just look at them from 2015, and there's no way you could have possibly predicted what would have happened to them, especially Jey Uso. With Jey Uso, it felt like a lightning in a bottle moment, but we've come now to know that it's been so much more than that. So let's take a quick dive into just how Jey Uso became the main event. It really started in 2020 when the pandemic was in full swing. Jimmy Uso had suffered an injury at WrestleMania 36 that year that would keep him out for several months. Roman Reigns was also out during that period, and he gave WWE an ultimatum: listen to him or he will walk away. Understandably enough, he was sick and tired of the direction of the big dog character, presumably fatigued by how the entire dog food storyline with Baron Corbin was. Now, he had aligned with the Usos before, but never in the form that we would eventually see. Jey Uso turned out to be a direct beneficiary of this character change, as he was the first person Roman Reigns made an example of. While Jey had to get emotionally and physically abused, it somehow turned out to be the best thing that happened to him. First, we saw him become main event Jey Uso purely on account of the fact that he was headlining shows. The first real step forward was the fact that people could now distinguish between the two brothers. When Jimmy returned, it didn't take long for them to recapture the tag team titles because they were already the best tag team of their generation by this point. Following this, we saw the Usos embark on a record-breaking reign as tag team champions, putting Jey Uso's singles push to the side for the time being. However, he became distinct, and even when he was in a tag team with his brother, it was clear that he was the bigger star among the two. That only amplified when Sami Zayn joined the mix as the honorary Us. The tensions between them led to Jey Uso completely mistrusting Sami Zayn, all until he became the one to stand up to him in the famous Tribal Court segment on the 30th anniversary of Raw. From being Sami Zayn's biggest skeptic, he turned into his biggest ally and supported him, directly preventing him from getting removed from the bloodline. That same week, when Sami Zayn smashed a steel chair against Roman Reigns' back, the instant reaction was wondering what the next move would be for Jey Uso, who left the ring in heartbreak while Jimmy and Solo Sikoa took care of Sami Zayn. Jey Uso eventually made his choice and chose his brother, setting up his first WrestleMania main event against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The fact that a tag team title match could headline WrestleMania just goes to show how much the power of character and storytelling is. Jey Uso's character arc was getting better by the week, and it was only fitting that he took the pinfall against Sami Zayn in the main event of WrestleMania. After Sami's story with the bloodline was done, it was time for the Usos to split from the bloodline, leading to Jey following his brother Jimmy in a rebellion against Roman Reigns. And at Money in the Bank 2023, Jey Uso became the first person to pin Roman Reigns since late 2019. It was a massive moment that set up a blockbuster SummerSlam main event, one that Jey was never going to win. But it was the betrayal of Jimmy Uso that led to a lot of controversy, as it made little to no sense. Looking back on it, the move still makes little to no sense, but what it did was truly free Jey Uso into becoming the man he was meant to be. In just a little over 3 years, he went from being a tag team specialist to a notable single star who could headline some of the biggest shows of the year. That year proved to be the biggest litmus test for him, as he was moved to Raw as a single star to kick off a new chapter in his career, one that he's still in the midst of. After enjoying a week-long tag team title reign with Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso focused on becoming one of the faces of Monday Night Raw, and successfully did so. Despite all the blips with losses to the then World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and repeated defeats to arch nemesis Drew McIntyre, things were looking up for Jey. 2024 was where that would continue, and all roads led to a brother versus brother clash at WrestleMania 40. It was a bit unfortunate that the match turned out to be a bit of a flop because people were expecting the modern day version of Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10. Perhaps if it opened up the show, it could have been that, but it wasn't meant to be. Thankfully, one bad match didn't affect Jey Uso's momentum, and he continued to be in big spots. The story of him after WrestleMania 40 was one where he wasn't able to get that big victory. He failed to capture the World Heavyweight Championship from Damian Priest. He seized the King of the Ring tournament spot despite not being announced at first and went until the semifinals, and he also came close to capturing the Money in the Bank briefcase. He was coming closer and closer, but his goal of becoming a singles champion had failed to materialize time and again. 2024 was all about Jey Uso becoming a singles champion, and he finally achieved that late in September when he dethroned Braun Breaker in a classic on Raw. It was a rather brilliant move. His Intercontinental title reign was used as a prop for a storyline so he could reunite with the OG bloodline. Although hesitant at first when Jimmy Uso approached him, the new bloodline costing him the Intercontinental Championship led to Jey Uso finally reuniting with Roman Reigns. This wasn't the strongest moment of storytelling because Roman Reigns owed Jey Uso a massive apology, not just a yeet. Regardless, there was still a short-lived reunion tour where Jey Uso, along with Jimmy, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, helped Roman Reigns topple the new bloodline at Survivor Series War Games. Thankfully, WWE didn't overstay their welcome with Jey Uso's reunion, and it was quickly back to business for him as he targeted singles gold. He appeared to be a filler challenger for Gunther, who beat him in every past meeting they had. Still, he headlined Saturday night's main event and fell short, deciding to enter the Royal Rumble as a direct result. In a shocking and unexpected move, Jey Uso won the most star-studded Royal Rumble in modern WWE history. Nobody saw that coming, and by the look of Jey Uso's face, he didn't see it coming either. And just like that, 4 years after the Bloodline story began, and a little over a year into his proper singles run on Raw, Jey Uso is headlining the main event of WrestleMania. We know this is a very condensed version of the story leading up to Jey Uso becoming the main event, but it was years in the making, and to explain his whole character arc in detail would require a much longer video. So let us know if you want to see a video detailing the incredible psychology and character development of Jey Uso. Until then, enjoy the road to WrestleMania and don't forget to yeet along the way. Thank you for watching.